Headshots have always been a very good way to allow you to rank up much faster within the Call of Duty franchise, as you'll gain an extra XP bonus for granting yourself a headshot. As well as this, headshots have always been a staple within the Call of Duty franchise to allow you to get your gold and diamond camos. In this video I'll be teaching you 5 easy and simple ways on how you can guarantee yourself a ton of headshots every single game. First of all, before I do get into today's video, if we could hit 1,000 likes, that would be greatly appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new, as I'll be covering the latest in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare news, and of course covering a ton of tips and tricks. But anyway guys, without further ado, let's jump into the video. For our first tip, we're going to be focusing solely on game modes. A lot of people would recommend the free-for-all game mode, as you're going to come into a lot of 1v1 engagements, but quite simply that is not the right game mode, as you're going to find that there's going to be a ton of different people coming at you from all different angles, and this is definitely not a way to get headshots. Instead, playing an objective game mode such as Domination is by far the easiest way to get your headshots. Now the reason for this is quite simple. You're going to find that a lot of the enemies of course will be playing the objective and capturing flags, and therefore when they're capturing a flag they're going to be in a stationary position. This is a prime place for you to get your headshots on the enemy. All you need to do is quite simply aim at the head, shoot your weapon, and then well, you've guaranteed yourself a very nice, easy and simple headshot. As well as this, for tip number 2, I would always recommend using equipment that will impair your enemies, especially if they're sitting on a flag. Now of course, if your enemies are not looking in your direction, don't waste your equipment, but this is just going to furthermore guarantee yourself that very easy and simple headshot. In at tip number 3, now this is going to completely contradict what I've just said, but you shouldn't always necessarily aim for the head. In those medium to long range engagements, especially where the enemies will be aiming at you and you'll be in a gunfight, it's always best to aim center mass. Now the reason for this is quite simple. In those medium to long range engagements, you're going to find that the recoil of your weapon is going to generally go up in an upwards motion, and therefore that 3rd, 4th and 5th bullet is going to connect with the head and therefore give you that all-important headshot. So the truth is, in order to get yourself a ton of headshots, don't always necessarily aim for the head. Pick your gunfights carefully, aim for center mass in those medium to long range engagements, and you're going to find that you get a ton of headshots every single game. For our 4th tip, a pretty simple one, and that is using the hollow point attachment. Of course, the hollow point attachment does mean that you'll gain increased damage to the head, and well, this is going to mean that you'll generally kill people in one less shot. Of course, this is extremely beneficial. Don't forget, you can stack the suppressor on top of hollow point as well if you want to stay hidden on the minimap. Finally, in at number 5, this is going to be one for shotguns and submachine guns. You don't always need to aim down sights. Now this might seem completely stupid, but in that short range engagement you're going to find it much more beneficial just to quite simply hip fire your enemies. This means that using the laser sight attachment will be extremely beneficial, and just aim upwards towards the head region. Now the reason why this works is because within Infinite Warfare you're going to find that there's going to be a lot of short range engagements, and the enemies are going to be boosting around a lot to try and get the upper hand. If you're hip firing your enemies, yes, you will have decreased accuracy, but there's going to be always that chance of more bullets hitting the enemy in the head, and therefore guaranteeing yourself that kill. When you're in those short range engagements, usually you do panic, you do aim for the feet, the legs, center mass, and sometimes that always doesn't necessarily work for a headshot. Like I said, for tip number 3, always aim for center mass in medium to long range engagements, but in those short ranges I would definitely advise hip firing, unless of course your enemy is stationary on a flag for example, or they just don't quite simply see you, and well, you're going to see that you will get a lot more headshots every single game. But anyway guys, that is going to be pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you found these tips helpful, please be sure to leave a like. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, as I'll be uploading more tips in the up and coming future. I've been Long Sensation, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.